All right, well, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another TTS upgrade install performance bullshit video. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a preventative maintenance kind of upgrade for you 2-liter 1.8 and anybody that kind of goes ahead and does beyond stage 2 or big turbo upgrades, and that is the diverter valve, which is right here. I've kind of covered this in another video for those of you that have been around since the days of the A3 hatchback. I've done a DV Plus before. At first I didn't really want to redo that video again, but we are doing something a little bit different as GFB has released a new version of the DV Plus, and that is this guy right here. So this is the new version of the DV Plus. It's a direct drop-in unit instead of a piston replacement. This is the T9381 DV Plus from GFB. So instead of having to pull apart your stock diverter valve, you just basically buy this and it's a direct drop-in. Comes with the appropriate pigtail because the pigtail that connects to the GFB DV Plus is different now. Also comes with 3 stainless steel bolts instead of the Torx bits that are on the stock diverter valve, so we're going to be replacing those as well. But before we go ahead and do that, we're actually going to go out and test the stock diverter valve to see if we get any noticeable and numerical differences in performance. Mainly what we're going to see is the boost response is probably going to be the #1 thing that does change, because obviously the entire point of the diverter valve system is to divert the boost pressure when you're making too much at certain RPM ranges for your AFRs and all that good stuff for those of you that kind of understand tuning. So okay, so let's we'll grab the laptop, hook up VCDS, go for a boogie, and we'll test the stock diverter valve, and we'll go from there. Okay, so hopefully I don't jinx myself here, but I feel like this is going to be one of the easiest installs that I've ever done on a Volkswagen, specifically because of the location of the diverter valve being literally right there. Let's throw this guy on. So we'll unplug it first. So there's the old one, all out. And there's the new one. We'll throw our new hardware in. And then we're going to take our supplied pigtail. And we're done. Literally that simple. I'm just gonna quickly find somewhere to just keep the cable from flying around in there. And it's literally that simple. It's installed. I'm gonna fire up the car and make sure it's not angry at me right away. Not angry, which is mint. I think there's a VCDS adaptation, so if there is, I will throw it in right now. We'll do that, and then we'll go test it again, and we'll log it and see what it does. We now have the DV Plus installed in the car, so we're gonna go to our boost response logging with it now, and hopefully we're gonna see some decent improvements. Hopefully just in the ability that the car has to recover and get back on boost in between gears and that kind of thing. So we're gonna do a little bit of just kind of like driving around, and then we'll do some pulls, and then we'll compare the data and see what we find. Just going to talk about the differences and stuff in between the data that we got with the GFB DV Plus and then also the stock diverter valve. Just from the screenshots that you're kind of looking at here, GFB's on the top, stock diverter valves on the bottom. We're looking at the request versus the actual boost pressure under different RPMs, and we've also got engine load on there as well, just so we can kind of see how the diverter valve is reacting. The biggest thing that you can notice right away between the orange and the red line, so red being specified, orange being your actual, so that's what the turbo is actually
producing. The stock diverter valve seems to have a little bit of a problem with overboosting right off the bat. So once we get on the power and you see the spike of the red line on the left side of both of the screenshots of our data there, the turbo does come on roughly at about the same speed, but the reaction time for the diverter valve to divert some of the boost back through the turbo on the intake side there on the stock diverter valve is a pretty big difference. With the data that you can see there, it's about a 3 psi difference between the peak of what it made actual versus the specified, and then it takes a little bit there to get the reaction time. Compared to the GFB DV Plus up on the top there, you can see that we only had a tiny little bit of overboost, and that would have been in third gear. Both of these amounts of data are first, second, third pulls off the line, essentially, like trying to keep the data as uniform as physically possible between both the stock and GFB. Same conditions, same amount of fuel in the tank, that kind of thing. So keeping it as close or as similar as physically possible when we're doing this data. Another thing I want to talk about, and I got a little bit technical with this, I've imported all of the CSV data into Excel, and I was running some calculations just to basically compare a bunch of different runs. So I think I did 4 stock DV runs, and I only ended up doing 3 GFB DV Plus runs with the boost pressure being logged. And overall, the averages for the average or the mean or whatever you want to call it if you understand Excel data, the GFB on average was able to keep the boost I want to say 0.04 bar under the specified. So instead of overboosting, it was able to keep it just slightly under what it was requesting, other than a couple little spikes getting, shifting gears and that kind of thing, and the turbo coming on and then it correcting, versus the stock diverter valve, where, as you can see with the spikes and that kind of thing, and the correction where it's dipping underneath and that kind of thing, was only able to do 0.05. So it was almost averaging overboost the entire time. It was just barely underboost. And data doesn't lie. There's the information right there on the screen. The DV Plus definitely, in the long term, is the safer method for high performance vehicles, because it is able to not only keep the boost more in check and follow the specified or the requested boost line a lot better than the stock one does, it also right away isn't allowing the car to really overboost any more than about half to maybe 1 psi at certain peaks. So there you go.
There you guys go. The data doesn't lie when it comes to swapping out the stock diverter valve with the GFB DV Plus. There you guys have it. All the data and stuff that we have collected from throwing that bad boy on the car. I hope you guys found it a little bit useful. You don't really need to have a TTS to benefit from this kind of thing. Like I said, there's the 2-liter TFSI, FSI, TSI 1.8s. Tons of vehicles have these diverter valves. So if you want to go ahead and put something on your car that is a little bit more reliable than the stock diverter valve, go ahead and pick one up in the description below using my link, and anything that you buy from ECS using that link helps out the channel, so I really appreciate it. But anyways guys, that will do it for today's video. I hope you found this useful. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends, and peace out. I'll see you in the next video.